Hello there, I'm going to ask you a question. As you've clicked on this video, I assume that you have some creative project or hobby that you want to pursue. For me, it was watercolours. For you, it might be photography or something like that. So you've bought all the equipment, but you haven't actually done the thing that it is that you want to do. So here's the question. What is it that's going to make you start? This was me in February, and what actually made me start to paint was finding out when we cleared my mother-in-law's flat, and she's now 90, that she too had harboured ambitions to paint, but that she'd gathered lots and lots of materials but had never actually done it. She's now 90, and it made me think, if not now, when? When am I going to start? I had to ask myself, is this just something that my fantasy self does? In which case, should I just purge everything I've bought because I'm never really going to use it? Or should I actually think, if not now, when? Just start, just do it. And then if you want to improve, go to classes or whatever. But find out if it really is your passion, if it is something you want to do. So that's what I did. I decided to dip my toe in the water. Well, if you've seen this video, it might be here or it could be here, I don't know. I did decide to dip my toe in the water, but in actual fact, I did more than dip my toe in the water. I actually threw myself in the deep end and I started painting on camera. And I hope that that video nudged some of you into taking the plunge as well into whatever your creative passion or project might be. So, hello and welcome to Handmade Originals. This is the YouTube channel where I tackle a whole variety of creative projects, in which case please subscribe to all, because otherwise you'll only get one similar to the one you're actually watching, and in the hope of inspiring you or encouraging you to have a go yourself. So it turns out that for me, painting watercolours wasn't just a fantasy. I absolutely loved the whole process. I know my technique needs some improvement, but I can watch YouTube videos or go to classes to do that. But it definitely uncorked something in me, and that's really important. The first step is always the hardest step, which is why I would urge you, if you haven't already seen it, to watch it, in the hope that maybe it nudges you into taking that first step towards whatever it is you want to do. The other thing I discovered about myself, not only that I loved painting, but that, like many women, I am one of life's pleasers. So unlike many of you, I didn't want to paint just for the joy of painting. I wanted to paint with a purpose, so that I wanted my paintings to have some function, and if they were for someone else, then so much the better. So while I was considering what my next painting project would be, coincidentally, my older brother was having some health concerns. Now, in a previous century, I would probably have gone round his house with a smudge stick, driving off negative vibrations and bringing in new healing vibes. However, that's not really his thing, and I think he would have chased me out with a broom. Also, he doesn't live near me. So I decided that I would combine these two ideas. One, that I wanted to do something positive for him, and two, that I wanted another project for painting. That what I would do is paint a picture of his house, and that I would put the legend, "Bless this house," underneath it, in the hope that that would create a sort of talisman or something that would bring in positive vibrations, healing vibrations and loving vibrations, and drive out any sort of negativity and poor health. So I have to reveal that I kept it a secret because I've never painted a house before, and I just thought, I'm hoping it's going to be really good and it will have the effect that I intend. But it could be dreadful, it could be really awful, and if it is, I don't want the embarrassment of producing something that's a bit rubbish. Anyway, so I'm not a religious person, but because it was this sort of spiritual intention, I guess, I did at the beginning before I started painting, just ask the universe for help to guide my hand. If that's not you, that's fine, but that's just something I just wanted to do that because the whole point of it was to bring in positive, creative vibes. Anyway, so using the photograph, I traced the main outline of the house and then I started painting. And the very strange thing was, I wasn't just motivated to paint, I was driven. I painted every single day. And I only stopped if I felt frustrated or I was struggling with it a bit, because I wanted to imbue the painting with only positive feelings. So as I painted, I was just thinking really positive thoughts and really healing thoughts for my brother and his family. So I did struggle a bit when it came to the roof, which looked pretty awful to start with. But then I just carried on with it, and it just eventually ended up with something that I thought was acceptable. And when I was doing the bricks, which seemed to go on and on forever, I decided I would recite the mantra, love in every brick, and that just seemed to carry me through, and eventually I got it all done. It's that horrible expression of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and it's whenever you've got a big task, you just break it down into tiny little bricks in this case, and eventually there's a finite number of bricks and you will finish it. What was a really amazing part of the whole process for me though, which was kind of magical in a way, was that once I started putting shadows in, then the building just seemed to rise up from the page to almost like a hologram, where it's three-dimensional. The shadows just transformed it. It was extraordinary. I sat there looking at it, not really believing what was happening. It was amazing. It was literally coming to life in front of me. So I finished it. I framed it. I put the legend into the mount of "Bless this house." And I have to say I was really pleased with it. I truly felt it was infused with sort of love and healing energy. But the other thing I felt, which was the strangest thing, was that I know I'd asked the universe for help, but I really felt as if I had just been the instrument in bringing this house into reality. It was just extraordinary. Anyway, I was delighted with it. I sent it off. And I'm pleased to report that my brother immediately hung it in pride of place in his sitting room. Now, my family are not given to gushing with their emotions, so I'm just taking that as a huge win. And I'm absolutely delighted about it. And also I'm pleased to report that it has inspired me to undertake another project, which I have to say is ridiculously ambitious, but I'm just going to go for it anyway, in the sense that why not, because I'm always pushing you to have a go, so I'm going to push myself. And if you want to find out what that is, then make sure that you subscribe, and it will be in the next video that gets posted. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. I don't know why I made that noise. And I will see you next time. Take care.